Hey, what's up guys? It's Fast Action Jax. I have in front of me a 2018 Street Glide Special. This one is Hard Candy Hot Rod Red Flake. This is a gorgeous motorcycle. I love it. That heavy flake in it. You know, one thing Harley has always nailed is their paint. You know, if you don't give Harley credit for a lot of things, you got to give them credit for their paint, because their paint really holds up the test of time. And that's because Harley spends about 2 years research and development on all their paint for every single model. So for 18 they started testing paints for those models. In 16 they always do 2 years early, which is a little fun fact about Harley Davidson if you didn't know that. Just like the Road Glide and the Road King, this model has stretch bags, which is awesome. We went ahead and added the docking hardware to it. We do that here as a courtesy, and but we'll go ahead and take her out and I'll tell you some of the things I like about it. Harley did a good job on the specials. Really beautiful motorcycles. And really balanced. So first off, on the Street Glide, the fairing is a little closer to you. It's attached to the handlebars. So I usually tell people that if you're over 6 foot, look at the Road Glide. If you're under 6 foot, the Street Glide is a good option, because if you're over 6 foot, you get kind of a little bit of that buffeting from the wind that'll kind of shake your glasses and your helmet a little bit. You can always solve that with a taller windshield, but right off the floor, more suitable for probably someone under 6 foot, in my opinion. Also, I find that the Street Glide is more just you know, relaxed, you know, more just a cruiser type. Just, you know, if you like to tour, if you just like to chill and ride, because you got that extra weight on the fairing itself, which doesn't mean you can't hit a hard corner. You can definitely hit some hard corners on the Street Glide. Just kind of wanted to talk about some height and the weight on the handlebars, the difference between this and the Road Glide. So the seat height is 26.1 inches. So the seat height is a tad taller than a Road Glide is. This bike weighs roughly about 798 pounds, about 22 pounds less than a Road Glide. So a little bit lighter. Also, you know, some of the differences for 18 is they got the stretched bags, they got the blacked out look, but pretty much a lot of the stuff is the same. One of the things I like about both models is the fact they have an engine idle temperature management system. So if you're sitting at lights a lot, if you're stuck in traffic or whatever the case may be, the bike will actually kill one of the cylinders, so you don't ever have to worry about it overheating. And the neat thing is if the throttle even feels like 1/1,000,000th of an inch, it kicks back on, so you'll never feel it. That's a cool little feature. Another thing I wanted to show you guys that I feel like a lot of people don't ever see or are never shown is if you got the sun behind you and you're having a hard time seeing your screen, you can actually hold down the information button and it will turn that white for you, which is really cool if you're having trouble seeing it. Now, another difference between the Street Glide and the Road Glide is your speakers are a little closer to you, so you get a little better sound quality from a Street Glide than you do from a Road Glide, because you get, you know, less wind noise in this area, and since it's a little closer, that couple inches really matters. So the cool thing about these bikes is you never have to touch that screen if you don't want to, so you can just hit your home button. This is your home button, it will always bring you home. And we'll go ahead and go to tuner. You guys, can't let you guys hear that.
Why should you start start with the best. The Kohler Cimarron Comfort Height Toilet. Just $199. Now the #1 Kohler retailer, the Home Depot.
That ain't gonna work. Let's get some music. There we go. But I kind of feel like the bars are a little closer to you on a street glide, and it is real fluid. But like I said, it's a little easier to toss a road glide around. So if you're more of an aggressive rider, you'll probably look at the road glide. But the street glide, like I said, is the #1 motorcycle in the world. Very comfortable bike. It handles very well. It is a fantastic touring bike. It looks great. There's a ton of aftermarket options for it. And it's a real blast to ride. Another thing they started doing for 14 and newer, another thing they released is they have the wireless headset integration module now, so you can get your headset wireless to communicate with your bike and other passengers, which is nice. We'll go ahead and hit this turn. You can still hit turns pretty nicely on a street glide. Like I said, everything's a little closer to you, so you feel a little more connected to the motorcycle on a street glide over a road glide. You hear your radio better, like I mentioned before. I feel like another thing is I feel like the suspension gets better every year with Harley. Like they're really starting to dial that in. Downshifts really well. You can just see it just cooperates with you. I love the clutch though. They've really got that down. Like I said, 111 foot-pounds of torque right off the showroom floor, which is nice. I'll show you guys the cruise. It's super easy. You just push it in and then push it down, and now your cruise is engaged. Go ahead and relax a little bit on a long ride or whatever the case may be. Another thing I wanted to show you guys, because I don't feel like enough people know, is everybody, like in a car, everybody thinks that you gotta, hit your brakes to disengage the cruise. I would never recommend just hitting your brakes on a motorcycle at any time if you're on the freeway or whatever. So a cool thing is since the throttle is actually electronic, all you actually got to do is just touch that throttle forward a little bit, and now your cruise is disengaged. Another thing Harley gets really well is the center of gravity is perfect on these bikes. I mean, just really easy to maneuver at low speed. You don't got to worry about ever trying to slam your feet down. I've been on some motorcycles that aren't balanced very well, that's for sure. But if Harley Davidson does one thing good, they balance motorcycles fantastically. Another thing I've always liked about the street glides and the road glides and the touring bikes, 14 or newer, is you can open the bags while you're at a stoplight, kind of get what you need, something to drink or whatever if you're wearing a half helmet. I've always kind of liked that. And the paint. This Hot Rod Red Flake is gorgeous. Love it. So this color of this paint is Hard Candy Hot Rod Red Flake. Another thing I like about the street glide over the road glide is if you get caught in a storm, in my opinion, the street glide does a little bit better at keeping the rain off you than a road glide does. You know, in 14, Harley added this. I always kind of recommend keeping it open, and you'll tell the difference immediately if you close it. This is what Harley added to eliminate that buffeting that people are getting from a street glide. But once again, I'll show you guys just how well it downshifts beautifully. Even in the first, very nice, very fluid, very balanced. Throttle's not touchy at all. I know you guys have been on some bikes where you're in first and you just barely squeeze the throttle and it jerks you forward. You don't get that on Harleys. You go through your trip, B, your range, mileage. Kind of like to have that range up. It's nice to know how much you got left. Oh, also one good thing to add for you guys is you got the 18-inch wheel on the back now. So you know, more of that like custom bagger look. Got the 19 on the front. Like I said, she handles really well. The Milwaukee 8 is such a fantastic motor. I think in the history of Harley-Davidson, the Milwaukee 8, I mean, they're getting closer and closer, man. They're just, you know, the research and development that Harley sticks in their motorcycles is just absolutely phenomenal. You know, they tested the Milwaukee 8 for years, and I think that they had some with, you know, 500,000 miles on them because they were just testing them over and over and over and beating them to death to see what they got. You know, like I said, Harley-Davidson spends more time in research and development than I think probably most companies. You know, like they spend 2 years on their paint jobs alone. It's incredible. And most of their emblems, even a lot of their older models, you know, you see those like reds and greens in the back of the emblems. You can't quite figure out what it is, but it's actually glass. Cool fun fact. Alright guys, I'm going to bring her back on the showroom floor where she belongs. And they brake really well. If you need to brake, she'll do it for you. And like always guys, just going to show you just how balanced they are through low speed maneuvering. It just wants to stand right up, kind of work that friction zone a little bit, but you can see just in low speeds she just handles phenomenally. You can really do what she needs to do and not have to worry about trying to tip over on you. Mind grabbing that door for me, Kenny? You mind grabbing the door? Never mind. Like I said, they just handle great at low speeds. Alright guys, I'm going to put her up. See you guys.